were here yesterday, but I chatted to Rex, and he said that the Avoca males came in on the pride when they were feeding on that buffalo after they'd killed it, and these lions scattered. And he's sure that these are two of the Nkuhumas that have been separated from the pride. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two actually find their way back to the pride. I have full faith that they'll be totally fine, and nice that at least there's two of them to help them through their little jolly jaunt here now. It's like being away for the weekend, but yeah, they do need to be careful, obviously, but they are of decent size, so they can walk the sort of route that the Nkuhumas have been walking the last couple of days, and sooner or later they're going to start picking up the fresh smells and start then heading back towards the pride, I would say. I have full faith that they'll be fine and they'll make their way back. But nice to see this, this unfolding, the story of how that happened yesterday. And now we've got these two youngsters who do need to make their way back. But we saw there, the one was already doing a little bit of stalking on its own. So sometimes these little random things that happen in the bush, forces the hand of youngsters to learn a little bit more. Well, they might actually land up, making a successful hunt in the interim before they find the pride. And then, well, maybe they could really start contributing towards the hunting when they are with the group itself. So sometimes these little random occurrences have a very good purpose that can be served as well. Always little contact calls that are coming from them. Karen, there's little contact calls that they're doing. It's a little ooh. See, as I do that, also taking note. And you see, the thing is that these sort of quite old, if I would say cubs, but from cubs, they also know that contact calling to try and contact their mother, is important, but it's a very low call because they don't want to also give their position away to potentially other big males or anything else that would come and kill them. So they'll be in that kind of mode now as well. And the one seems to sit down, and the other one seemed to walk up and down searching and giving that little low ooh, ooh. So we're just watching them. You see how they're actually quite anxious, huh? Now, Nikki, when lions roar, it very much comes from the belly, and it's it's not a rah like you see in the movies or on cartoons and so on. It's very much a ooh, ooh. Now, I don't want to do it too much because we're just going to confuse these two, and I don't want to do it too authentically either because I can do it reasonably well, but these two might then get excited that the pride is somewhere around here because they're really obviously just wanting to get back to the pride, and I've spent a few hours on their own already, so I'm thinking they would be trying to make their way back. Now, Malika, the rest of the pride could, the best thing for the rest of the pride to do is just to mark a lot, because then these two, you see there, lots of tactile, at least there's two of them, as I say, then they can pick up the smells. Sooner or later, if they walk enough, they'll pick up on the smells of the rest of the pride, and they're not babies, so they're like, teenagers just about ready to fly the nest, and it's maybe not such a bad thing. They can grow up a little bit. Now, Soapy Crawdad, there's no wounds on them. They look absolutely healthy. They don't look like they've fed. So I think they maybe got chased off of that meal before they had a chance to eat anything. That's a shame. They would have been a perfect spot for that lion to stay on that termite mound. That was a lovely little picture, that. But it seemed to be a little bit more on the move again. Let's go and just catch up with him a little bit. So nothing to worry about, nothing serious on these cats. They haven't been wounded. They're perfectly healthy. They've got their wits about them. Their tails are functioning. They look fine. I think maybe a little bit cold and shaken up this morning, but that's about it. So you see, they're all walking in the wrong direction, but that's not to say that, lions can cover lots of ground. Kevin, they are in their own pride's territory. So this is the Nkuhuma pride, and the Nkuhuma pride and the Sticks pride generally move in these areas, but predominantly so the Nkuhuma pride. So they're in the right place. They just need to do a bit of looping. Obviously not get too close to where those Avoca males were, because that could land up in them getting chased again, although those males are very fat now at the moment, so they wouldn't probably be able to run these two down, but they would be quite nervous to go anywhere near that. But you can see how they're looking around. They are looking for the pride, definitely. It's a little bit like, I want my mommy. Shame. But like I say, it's like teenagers, just learning the ropes a little bit now, and it's time to grow up, eh? That's very interesting. See, if we listen carefully, you can hear the little contact calls again. Just being quiet, maybe we can hear it again. Now, it's just randomly, hey? Every now and then, there we go. See little calls. Still just, so looking and doing little calls for the group. You can see when that stomach goes up, that's when it's doing the contact call. Okay, we're going to follow these guys into the bush, and probably for the rest of the drive. But it seems David's got something that they would love to eat.